Welcome, YouTube. We got the second of the VR ones today. This one's about modern audience. Fable is cooked and the devs laid off. The game got delayed till next year, but like, I didn't think we're doing that bad. I think they were just like changing some things. Oh, this made me worried for Fable. I was actually interested in playing Fable. I didn't care what the lady looked like. Didn't matter to me.
The upcoming Fable release has not gone over well for Xbox Game Studios and Playground Games. Nearly every single teaser and trailer has been highly scrutinized by gamers. We know that the game was delayed a full year from 2025 until sometime in 2026, and now things are looking even worse because the Fable co-developer is laying off a ton of staff members. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, obviously, this is a game that some
Okay.
people are excited for, but a lot of other gamers
I'm
have
excited. I
highly
love Fable. The same people don't work there, so I'm a little concerned that it's not going to be exactly what I wanted. But you know what? It could still be good. There is always the chance that it's still good.
criticized it. It looks like just a modern audience Fable. We know, of course, that this is a game that's been
It doesn't look like a modern audience Fable. There was nothing about it that suggests modern audience other than the main character looking girl was not gorgeous or pretty. But like ye old British, I don't really know if it counts as actually kind of English or whatever. But like all the accents, that's where it was from. And a lot of uggos in history. Plus, I assume it's customizable, so it should be fine. But nothing else in the actual game itself suggests that it's going to be woke.
in development for many years at this point, and it doesn't even look like it's anywhere near done because we just had gotten last month pre-alpha footage, which is insane to think about because, again, it's been in development for several years, and that trailer
Pre-alpha?
didn't go over particularly well. It has 15,000 likes to 11,000 dislikes. I'll show that off more in a minute, but now we're finding out that the co-developer Eidos Montreal is laying off a ton of staff. So it says the trend of layoffs in the video game industry continues as game developer Eidos Montreal, which is co-developing the new Fable, has announced that it's cutting 75 jobs. Now, we do not know exactly how many people were helping develop this game, but they are known for being co-developers on larger projects, and it seems that they really only have one game going at a time. It's not like they have 1,000 staff members and it's split 3 ways on 3 different projects. That's usually not the case for them. In a memo posted on social media, the studio said it's cutting jobs because one of our mandates is coming to an end, but the developer did not elaborate further about this. However, the studio
What
said
mandate?
about affected staffers, it is not a reflection of their dedication or skills, but unfortunately, we don't have the capacity to entirely reallocate them to our other going projects and services. So basically, we just don't need you. And a lot of companies over the past couple of years have definitely overhired.
We don't have enough work. Let's get rid of. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it makes sense. I mean, it's not like they said, "Oh, we're losing money and we're not going to take pay cuts." But if we don't have work for you, that's a perfectly reasonable reason to fire an employee.
They have pumped up their ranks as much as possible, and that's why we're seeing such a bloodbath within the gaming industry right now. So many layoffs happening. So it's not like this is the only company that is doing it, but it still does not bode well for Fable. Today, we informed our studio staff that we are going to let go of up to 75 valuable members. They weren't that valuable or you would have kept them. As one of our mandates is coming to an end, it is not a reflection of their dedication or skills, but unfortunately, yeah, we just don't have the capacity to entirely reallocate them. And if you look at what Eidos Montreal has done over the past couple of years, I've got to be honest, it's not looking good for them. They had done supportive development on Tomb Raider in 2013. They, most notably and most recently, were a supportive development studio for Crystal Dynamics on Marvel's Avengers, which is
Okay, hold on. Good game. Don't know, but I haven't heard anyone tell me that I need to play this game, and no one has defended this game. Thief, I heard was a good game. Not my thing, but I heard good. Deus Ex, again, good game. People have nothing but good things to say about these games. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I don't know. I also never heard anybody say anything about this game other than like the normal review and stuff like that. Marvel's Avengers, hot garbage. Might not be their fault though, because Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, kind of on them. However, following Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, good game. This was a good game, but they didn't promote it very well because of this game right here. It was the next Marvel's game. It has nothing to do with this game. This is a completely different game than Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was a solid game. It was a fun time. I had a really good time. I platinumed that game because I enjoyed it so much. So this is a hit, miss. I maybe hit, miss for sure. Because they made a big deal about this, but no one has ever defended this game very hard. Huge miss. Huge, massive miss. Biggest miss on this list. Big hit. Big hit that followed it. But this right here, Square Enix, they were the miss. Game was a hit. Square Enix didn't believe in it enough. They screwed up. This game was worth promoting. This could really go either way.
Is one of the biggest live service failures we have seen. Of course, not the biggest anymore. It used to be until Concord came along and they wasted $500 million on that. But still, Marvel's Avengers was a awful game that was highly scrutinized by gamers. And then Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was a game that they worked on too. Now, that went over a little bit better, but I think the problem is that people remembered Marvel's Avengers, so not a lot of people bought Guardians of the Galaxy. It did not sell the numbers that they were expecting, and now they are working on the 2026 Fable, their supportive development for Playground Games. So again, they're not like the only developer that's working on it, but they still are an integral part to the machine. And you would think a game that still is in a pre-alpha state would need as many people working on it as possible. And that right there was mind-blowing when we saw this last month. It was supposed to release in 2025, but about 2 months ago, we had an Xbox showcase and they didn't show it. And I had said, oh yeah, this is definitely getting pushed off. And it was. 1 month ago, they showed off this pre-alpha gameplay, and
This was one of the games that was on the list to play for Game Pass. I was going to wait for all the ones that are coming out on Game Pass this year to come out. And when they delayed this, I thought, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just go ahead and get the Game Pass for a month or two. If we're not waiting for this game, we'll do it again in 2026.
And oof, the ratio was not more negative than positive, but it's pretty close. And if you look at the comment section, it's not very positive either. So there was a lot of criticism levied towards the pre-alpha footage, and the concerns have grown over the game's direction. We know several people have actually left this project. I've talked about that in other videos too, but that doesn't bode well either. In July of 2023, we saw the Fable narrative lead leave Playground Games, and we also saw last year one of the combat designers actually leaving too. So they've definitely shuffled their ranks quite a bit, which to me does not...
Why does he have glasses? Why would you create a Fable world where people needed glasses like this? Like thick glasses, like real human glasses. Why would a giant have modern day glasses instead of like the ones that you would see on a wizard with like really thin frames, because it's back in the day where they didn't have thick plastic like this. This is probably made of wood, but it's still stupid. This is an awful design to put into a medieval fantasy game.
Not bode well, because if you are super confident with a product, why are you leaving it when you were in such a high ranking position? It's not like they were just like casually one of the developers who decided I got a better job offer somewhere. Like, you are a narrative lead or a combat designer. Those are people that are extremely important to the inner workings of the game and it being a success, but that happened. It says, as first reported by Games Radar, the Fable 4 narrative lead Anna Meagle has announced her departure from developer Playground Games after over 3 years with the company. So she had probably only worked on Fable, though it's still, just does not sit right with me. They had previously worked on both lead writing on Ubisoft's Division 2 and the narrative lead for Remedy Entertainment's Control. So she had kind of flopped and flipped between a bunch of...
Control was good. Haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of good things about Control. Anyone I've ever talked to about Control said, you got to play this game. It's a great game.
Different companies, but she has worked on pretty big games. Announced her departure from the UK-based studio on her personal Twitter account, stating that she had a busy year between work on Fable 4 and writing 2 books. She said that she would be taking some time off following her resignation. So that happened, and well, now we have, of course, all of this information about delays and, well, co-developers going through major layoffs. This is an article from February over
Yeah, I was
at
about to
that
say,
Park Place.
it's
It
February.
talks, though, about how while nothing has officially been confirmed, Fable has drawn significant criticism over its apparent move away from a key franchise feature, the ability to choose between playing as male or female protagonists, which is very worrying to me because Fable always had choice, and it doesn't appear that that is going to be the case anymore, that this
Why
female
not?
is kind of the set-in-stone protagonist, which I'm fine with playing as a set protagonist in other games. I love playing as male characters, I love playing as female characters, but it does not fit Fable.
Yeah, that's not the Fable way. It is a departure from the series. Make your own game where this will be fine. Make a Fable game, but don't call it Fable. It'll be fine.
Though we do know that this is kind of a reimagining and a reboot, so it looks like they're just going out on a limb and hoping that people are going to show up because of the Fable name, even though it's going to be significantly different. That aligns with a growing trend in Western AAA gaming where major studios have been accused of prioritizing ideology over consumer preference in character design, and female protagonists in recent titles have consistently been given more masculine features, a shift that has not gone unnoticed by longtime gamers. We of course have Kay Vess in Star Wars Outlaws, Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man 2, and Aloy in Horizon Forbidden West, all characters who have received similar critiques for their noticeably altered appearances compared to past industry standards. So things just are not looking super positive for this game right now. Now, of course, it's still a long ways away, and maybe it will come out and it will be absolutely fantastic.
Fingers crossed they don't Assassin's Creed shadow themselves. Because I want another Fable game. I really want another Fable game. And I don't want it to be garbage. Granted, it'll be good content either way. I just prefer that I thoroughly enjoy the game, though.
And it's totally fine if you yourself are excited for it, but just be cautiously optimistic. Keep in mind, the ranks behind this game have changed a lot over the past couple of years. They've delayed it, and they're only showing pre-alpha footage around the time it was supposed to release, so I don't even think it's going to come out in 2026. I'm personally believing 2027, and that just does not sound good for Xbox Game Studios and Playground Games. And of course, when we're hearing that a co-developer is going through major layoffs, that just is another piece of the puzzle that does not look super positive. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed the video. Hope everybody else enjoyed the video.
Filing your tax
let me know down below if you're going to play this game, if you're going to play Fable when it comes out. Are you going to play it ironically? Are you going to play it like genuinely you want to play it? I think it's kind of up in the air right now for everybody. Some people will say, oh, I'm not going to do it, or I'm absolutely going to do it. It's too early for you to say that. You don't know what's going to unfold before then. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. You keep your fingers crossed. And you know what? I'll keep an extra pair of fingers crossed just for you. You deserve a good day. Have a great one. Thanks for joining me. Mwah.